Stuart Broad faces the cut again as England could go with spin in first test. Joe Root is determined to be bold in everything he does as England captain, and he might need to be brave again on Wednesday when he makes what will be a big call on the makeup of his side to face West Indies in the first test. For Root may have to tell a senior bowler with 433 test wickets to his name in Stuart Broad that he is again the odd man out as a New England continues to evolve at the start of their biggest year in both red and white ball cricket. The sight of the Kensington Oval ground staff busily watering the pitch on Tuesday for the second day running suggests they are worried the most famous wicket in the Caribbean is too dry and might break up too quickly for comfort. And that means England are seriously considering changing their minds on their pre-series plans and going back to the extra spin that served them so well in Sri Lanka. Opportunity might well knock, then, for Adil Rashid or Jack Leach, while the emergence of Sam Curran as a special talent England are loath to leave out means Broad could return to the sidelines where he spent so much of his time in Sri Lanka. England will not make their final decision until they have seen the pitch, but the way Root spoke on Tuesday suggested he was paving the way for that extra spinner, with Rashid the favourite to edge out Leach and join his great friend Moeen Ali in a dual spin attack. If we're in a position to leave someone of Stuart's stature out, it's not due to a lack of form or ability on his part or that his career is coming to an end, said the England captain. Probable teams: West Indies, Braithwaite, Campbell, Hope, Darren Bravo, Chase, Holder, captain, Dowrich, keeper, Roach, Gabriel, Joseph, Warwick. In England, Jennings, Burns, Bairstow, Root, captain, Stokes, Butler, Moeen, Foakes, keeper, Curran, Rashid, Anderson. Umpires: Chris Gaffney, NZ, and Raya Tucker, Australia. TV umpire: Kumar Dharmasena, Sri Lanka. Match referee: Jeff Crow, NZ. The pitch: this is providing quite a few furrowed brows. Looks patchy, mottled and quite possibly too dry. Certainly nobody seemed sure on Tuesday how it will play. The weather: it's hot in Barbados. And highly likely to stay that way. Far from it. He's actually getting stronger and taking hat-tricks in warm-up games. If anything, it would be because we're looking to balance the team up in these conditions. From that, hopefully we will become more consistent away from home. It should be said that Broad, who almost missed out on the Sri Lankan tour altogether, was the model professional throughout a trip where he played in just the final test. And the fact that he has worked so hard since a miserable Ashes tour last year on both his wrist position and his run-up suggests he is doing his utmost at 32 to ensure he remains a force in this young England team, certainly at home. But this might be the biggest test yet of Root's desire to convince every player here they have as big a role to play as the 11 who make the cut in the first of 3 tests in front of what is expected to be a full house grand with England supporters. The message I've tried to get across to the guys is that the achievement is to be part of the squad, said Root. You will never win big series away from home with 11 players. It's about collectively doing something special, and as soon as everyone is on board with that, the better. It worked extremely well in Sri Lanka and we must carry that forward. Cricket in the Caribbean may not be what it was, but this remains a special series and the perfect start to a year which will see England contest a World Cup and Ashes in the same home summer for the first time since 1975. It will be a competitive one, too, with sparks invariably flying between these teams in recent years, even though the highly flammable Marlon Samuels will not be around to wind up Ben Stokes, as he famously did in Grenada on the last tour here. The Flames were fanned 4 years ago by ECB chairman Colin Graves, who called West Indies mediocre before what became a drawn series, and it was predictably another Yorkshireman who attempted to wind the home side up in Geoffrey Boycott. Both captains smiled when told that Boycott had said this West Indies side was full of average and ordinary players in his newspaper column, but it would be no surprise if Jason Holder's side again used it as motivation, as they did Graves' ill-judged comments. It's not like Geoffrey to be outspoken, is it? Said Root. It's not surprised me he's said something like that, but it's not the case, especially in these conditions. Ultimately it doesn't make any difference as to how we approach things. Holder, the only man from either side to be named in ICC's Test Team of the Year, was equally laid back. "I actually saw Colin Graves a few days ago and we had a good giggle about it," he said. "I haven't seen what Jeffrey said, but it's normal and what you expect. It gets us going and I expect a really good contest." The stage is set then for what is bound to be an eventful series, with England looking to build on what felt like a watershed victory for Root and Sri Lanka by becoming only the second England side to win a Test series here in 50 years. "We're in a good place and we're pretty much ready to go," said Root. "We just have to make that big call in the morning." They are the sort of calls the England captain now has the stature and confidence to make.